Ladies, welcome back.
Welcome to our channel.
And today we got something special for y'all. What are we talking about today?
So we're going to be covering how to meet men in the wild, and as well as should you approach men or should you wait for him to approach you first.
So she's gonna give you her take, and then I'm gonna take over and give you my take from a man's perspective, especially what the best places I believe to meet men if you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s. These are quality places that throughout all age groups you can definitely find quality men there. Let's get into it. So first things first, let me read the story to you guys. Let's get into it, right? So here's what we're looking at. Where to meet men 30s, 40s in the wild. So other than bars, which are an option, are there some other places to meet men in real life? Are they open to being approached or approaching women? We'll touch on that. I feel like the dating apps are just getting worse. So I'm looking to explore other options. Would love to hear from men also looking to meet a woman in person. Where are we spending our time? You want to go first?
Yeah, so I definitely want to talk about the dating apps. I 100% agree with her. It is not a viable option. It is an option, but not viable for me, just because people tend to be really casual on the dating apps, and the purpose of dating apps is usually for short-term relationship, hookups, and situationships. Are you gonna actually end up getting married from somebody from dating apps? Yeah, it's definitely possible, but it's just not viable for me. A trend that I've noticed with dating apps is like, you can meet the same people. For example, if you meet the same guy at church or at the gym or somewhere else in person, how he approach you, how he talk to you, and his attitude towards you is completely different. If he like swiped you on dating apps, like it's gonna be a much more casual approach when it comes to the dating app matches. But what do you think, baby? Give them your perspective as a man.
Yeah, so I definitely do think dating apps are more casual. And if you're looking for something like a long-term relationship, I would highly advise definitely not being on the dating apps. Now, there's a lot of different apps. We got Tinder, we got Bumble, we got Hinge, we got Binge. I don't even know what the other ones we got nowadays, right? But I definitely do think that if you're looking for something that's going to lead to a fulfilling relationship long-term, eventually into marriage, which I would highly advise, I would say definitely meeting in person. A few reasons I feel like that's highly valuable versus dating apps is you get a better gauge on a person, right? Not saying that you're going to run into a serial killer, but you might on the dating apps, right?
Yeah.
Even in person for sure.
Like a scammer.
But I feel like, exactly,
Yeah.
but I feel like the chance of it happening is a lot less on the in-person versus on the dating apps. And what I'm really trying to dig is this point. When you talk to people in person, you can gauge the personality. You can gauge that better. You can gauge the vibe better. You can really see if you guys have more of a chemistry. And on the dating apps, what's really carrying the conversation or what's even carrying the swipe is the looks. Believe it or not, there are guys who aren't as good as taking pictures that you will never know about because you only swipe left on the dating app. But if you saw them in person, you're like, oh my goodness, this guy's the real deal. And that's what you have to understand is that dating apps, especially for a lot of guys who aren't as tenor in the whole game and like having their profile together and all these things, if they're more in real life guys and that's what they specialize in, odds are that they're not the best online with the dating app stuff. So you see them, you don't give them a chance because maybe they have a bad photo or a bad angle, you swipe left on them. In person, you see them and you see how they actually look like. They work out, they carry themselves well, they're smooth at it. It's a whole different ball game. So I would advise you ladies, go to real life because the whole point of the dating apps is to meet up in real life. So if you can skip that whole phase where you have an abundance of options and it's hard to make a decision because there's so many guys and you see the profiles, you see the pictures, you're going through all this process, why not just cut to a person, the real thing?
100%. And you don't get catfish. Ladies, guys cannot lie about their height in person. But so many guys lie about their height on dating apps, y'all. It's crazy.
100%. So I feel like when you go to the dating apps, you have to deal with a lot more nonsense in person.
Yeah.
It's so much simpler. And then now the next thing I want to talk about, right, is we're going to go into two things. One is the approaching situation, which I'm going to tackle first. Then the next point is going to be the places to meet men, quality men, to filter out through the nonsense. Just like the dating apps, you want to filter out, you want to go straight to the point, right? First of all, is approaching men. I would not advise it. The reasoning is this. I think from a man's perspective, it would be easier if the woman approached. However, I also feel like what I would prefer if I'm a man is for a woman to make it easier for me to approach her. And what I'm talking about is something we talked about before, signals, which is it could be a variety of different ways. Guys are not always as socially adept to pick up on the signals. So I say the easier you can lay the signals down for them, the easier they can follow. What I mean, here's an example of a signal. Making prolonged eye contact with a smile. If you look at a guy and for a long period of time, maybe say like 5 seconds or so, and you smile at him, that's one of those things that he's like, oh wait, she's looking at me. He might still be like, oh, he's looking.
Yeah.
But eventually, it'll get through his skull like, oh wow, she's looking at me and she's smiling. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a wink if that's your style. I'm not sure what floats your boat, but you do want to have a way to let him know that you are interested in him. Find ways that you're comfortable with to do so, but when that happens, that lets the guy to be more in a comfortable zone of, okay, cool, she's giving me the green flag. Let me go make my move. Let me go make my approach.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, this also helps out because if you want a guy who's a decision maker, a guy who's a go-getter, who goes for what he wants, that opens the floor for that type of guy to pursue you, which I believe you do want. Not even about manipulation games, but just when you look at how it is with men really going after what they want. Back in the hunters and gatherers days, guys go out for the kill. They come back and the family, you guys eat. So I believe if you want a man that's more in his masculine state, which a lot of women do want, I would highly not say to approach, because approaching, in my opinion, is more of a masculine thing to do. And what I mean is it's more of like going for what you want. Ladies, you can do it, but also keep in mind that odds are if you approach yourself, the man you might approach, you don't really know how he is. Does he really have that confidence you're looking for? Is he really bold? Is he really like about it? And that's what I mean. That's the biggest reason I would not recommend approaching. Anything like that?
It takes courage for a man to go up to you and talk to you, because there's a chance that you might turn him down. So it definitely takes confidence, it takes courage, and you definitely want a man that you are talking to, you're dating, you potentially be marrying to have the courage to be able to walk up to a woman and be like, hey, like, what's your number? I'm interested in you. To be able to do that. I mean, you did that. You approached me. And then what I did to let him know that I'm interested in him was like, I grabbed his arm and I was like, what's your name? And he knew I was interested.
100%. That's a perfect example right there. And keep in mind, because you're dating leading to fulfilling relationships, if you are looking for a man who is a go-getter guy, that's a good sign right there. To where you know he's about his business. If he sees what he wants, assuming that you guys are attracted to each other, you make it obvious. You know what I'm saying? It's easier for him to go ahead and pursue you versus him just doing it out of the blue, which he can still do. Like, I approached her before she gave me any signs, and then I saw the signs come afterwards, but not all guys are willing to do that. So please keep that in mind, ladies. The easier you create an environment for the guy to approach you, and of course, some things as well, just a few bonuses. Don't have a resting switch face with a word switched around. Like, you don't want to seem like an unapproachable woman. Sometimes you ladies do it without even knowing. You want to create an environment to where you're approachable. That's the whole thing about the signals. An environment where men can approach you, so the men that have the oomph to approach you will do so. That's what I'm literally talking about.
Yeah, you definitely want to like look friendly. If you're interested in this guy, you can maybe like, smile at him and be like, hey, have a good day. Just something really simple to just, be friendly, to let them know that you're approachable.
Seriously. And then now we've covered that part. The next aspect I want to talk about, which is really crucial, is where to meet these guys. So now you ladies understand, you got to be approachable, you got to smile, you got to wave, you got to do something to let the guy know. Get his attention, man. Like, seriously, if you're into him, you don't got to be thirsty, but at least give him a signal. If he doesn't pick up the signal, keep it pushing. There's a lot of guys in this world that won't approach you. Don't get desperate just because you feel like, oh my goodness, I'll never find a man. No, the right man is for you. Real talk.
Amen.
Don't settle for what's not for you. Real talk. So here are a few key places that I have found success, and I have friends that found success in these places, right? 1, church. The reason I say church is this: if you're a person of faith, that's somewhere you go to often, and odds are men and women are there, depending on your church. There's a lot of different churches in the world, you know what I'm saying? Especially in your local city. If you are going to a church where there's people there, there's men there are women there, odds are you can meet someone you're interested in and you have sexual attraction to in church. You know what I'm saying? Because ladies, I want to say something clear. Go for people you're sexually attracted to. At least go to people you have some type of chemistry with, because you don't want to be married with someone that you don't feel anything for and they're just a nice guy. Don't make that trap. We're talking about fulfilling relationships, and it has to be covered in all different areas. So please, when you're at church, here's what I would say: go there, be cool, do what we talked about. Look at them, make eye contact, smile, wave, and it make it simple for the guy to approach you. And if you do so, you'd be surprised at your results. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And also, like, go to Bible studies or co-eds. Like, for example, a business group. We actually went to a business group, and there's many men and women who are, who are interested in business, and they already have something in common. That's a good place to start.
No, you take me on to the next point. All right, let's go into the next one. So we've talked about church. Next one I want to talk about is socials. Here's the thing about socials, right? I would not recommend going to the club. The person mentioned bars in the Reddit post. Clubs and bars, I'd say those are situations that are less likely to lead to more fulfilling relationships and more hookups. Bars less so, but especially clubs, because people go there probably wanting to end the night with a lady, especially from a guy's perspective, trying to end the night right. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're looking for. However, if you go to a social, especially if say you're in a group or you know a group of a community, for example, and they have socials, they have events, they host nights where people dress up and they go out and stuff like that. Odds are that's more of a group of vetted people. It doesn't mean people aren't there for hookups as well. But what I'm saying is you want to be in these places where people are making more of an effort. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
More of an effort to dress out,
like
to go out.
Invite only event.
Exactly. Exactly. Sort of somewhat vetted, somewhat versus just random people on the street pulling up to a spot. So dressed up, looking nice, invite only. Those are socials that you want to go to. And when you're there at the social, that's when you can go ahead and you can be a little bit more direct. You can give the guy a little compliment. You know what I'm saying? That's as far as I would go with making the first move. I wouldn't ever ask him for his number. I would go ahead and maybe do so like, hey, go ahead and like tell him, hey, you look nice. I like your shoes. I like whatever. Give him a compliment. And it'll be so simple. He'll give you a compliment back, smile and say thank you and giggle or whatever. Be genuine, of course, but create that environment. Just make it easy for him and he can go ahead and lead. But ladies, you always can approach, but just keep in mind, we don't recommend it. Doesn't mean you can't meet your man approaching just like dating apps. I just want to be clear. But we would not recommend doing
anything
so.
is possible, so 100%. There is a possibility that it can happen.
100%, 100%. So the next place I want to talk about is conferences. That's where we actually met, and that's what we're talking about. To where you have people that have a similar interest. You can find all kinds of conferences. If you're in tech, go to a tech conference. If you like anime, go to anime conference, anime convention. You know what I'm saying? If you like drawing, go to that. Like literally, what you're into, there's probably a conference for that in this world.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Even pickleball, like go play pickleball.
There we go. Pickleball conference, pickleball
it's
tournaments.
So popular
like,
here in Austin.
100%.
Yeah.
So on top of going to conferences, go to gatherings around things that you're interested in. That's an easy place to find someone who has a common interest. It's literally that simple.
Even running clubs. There are running clubs here.
Rowing clubs as well.
Yeah.
The swimming clubs. Like there's all like go to a club of what you're interested in that has men as well. And even if there's like a fitness club that has like guys and girls, running clubs, you can find all kinds of things. But go to something you're interested in. If you're looking for an athletic guy, maybe go to a running club type thing. You might meet a guy that's a jogger, that's athletic, likes running. Boom. If you like biking, a biking club. I just dropped a lot of things for you, ladies. There's got to be at least one. If you like yoga, like stretching, go to one.
Even F45, it's men and women.
So go to an event, go to a club, go to a setting where you have someone with a similar interest to you, and that already makes things so much easier. Because ladies, if you're in that place, you know how you can go ahead and you can initiate the conversation. Oh, hey, how long have you been doing so and so for? It's literally that simple. And that's as far as I would go. You know, giving a compliment and maybe just starting the conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's something else you can do. So you can actually walk up to them and actually be like, hey, you know what? How long have you been doing so and so for? Oh, you're not been. Just like that. Let him take over. Ask questions. Let him take over. Let him give him that chance.
Yeah, be your feminine.
100%. And that's what I would say. When I say feminine, I mean let the guy do his stuff. Let him take over. Let him lead, because you want to be in a relationship with a man who's going to lead you. So let him lead the conversation.
100%, yeah.
So ladies, that's what I would highly recommend. I hope you guys find the courage to get out there. Understand that it's not something that will always happen on the first night. It might for some of you ladies, but it's just like life. The more you show up, the more the chances are going to be in your favor. 100%. So show up and just be prepared. Smile. Seriously, smile. Put your best foot forward and just be open-minded to what God has in store for you. And don't settle for less, ladies, because too many ladies do it. Settle for guys that they shouldn't be with just because they're desperate of not being alone. Now, please take this advice and apply yourselves. Hopefully you guys stay blessed. You guys take it easy. Peace out.
Peace out.